I'm now going to go to the limit switch page. This is the axis limit switch setup. You can see here the positive over travel input and the negative over travel input, which would show, based on how your axis is set up in the real world, supposed that you were on a ball screw axis. One side of the axis is going to be your positive side, depending on how you name it, and one side is going to be your negative side. Right now, our inputs for the limit switches are set to normally closed, which is a fail-safe orientation for your limit switches. When the power goes off, and they will then go to open, and the limits will drop out, and the axis will stop. You now see that the input status for the limit switches are set to normally open. You can see at the bottom there's a flashing banner which shows that the controller power needs to be cycled. When the Yaskawa controller sees that the limit switches have been changed, it needs to cycle power for the firmware to update. I'm going to set it back to normally closed, and I will cycle the power on the main and control. Repower the drive. And you see that it's rebooted, and the banner has updated and is gone. And you see that it's set normally closed. You can also set the limit switches to off by this button here, and it shows that they are disabled. Again, you'll have to cycle the power for the MP2600 to update. Now let's say you do not have limit switches currently installed on your axis and you just want to test your limits. You can do this by setting your positive motion inhibited, this button here, and you can see that the banner on top that said set normally closed is now updated to positive motion prohibited. I'm going to do this also for the negative side of your axis. And you see the banner is updated from set normally closed, negative motion, and hit prohibited as well. And we'll cycle power again and show the updated status of the drive. Okay, now the drive has been repowered, and you can see that it still is prohibited negative or positive motion. And you can see the banner at the bottom now is highlighted in red, and it says that negative motion is blocked and positive motion is blocked. Whenever you see the red banner, it will show that the axis limit has been triggered. In this case, the axis limit is triggered via the program itself, and it's not actually a limit actually triggered, but you've actually set the bit by hitting set negative motion inhibited. So now the servo axis could not move. We can show you that if we return to the main page and go to your jog page, and we can try to enable the axis and jog. You see that the servo is not moving back and forth. You also see this status bar on your enable and jog page that shows that the negative motion is blocked. So this would show you that, hey, I've hit a limit and I need to return back to the main page and go to my limit switches and toggle them as necessary to get you off the limit. So I'm going to set them back to normally closed, and this yellow will show you, hey, I'm off the limits now, and I will be able to move the servo axis as needed. So I will cycle power again. Okay, now it's been rebooted, and you can see that everything is green again, and the axis is ready to move. And we have our limits set back to their normally closed position. I'm returned back to the main page, and you can see your status is ready on the axis. And I will enable and jog again. So enable the axis, and you can see it grayed out, and it will come back to yellow to show you that the ability to jog is there for the servo. And now jog axis positive, and you can see the torque and axis position changing below, and velocity. So it's as simple as that. As you can see with this product, you'll be able to jog the axis and set limits in homes and be able to toggle inputs and outputs right out of the box when you plug and play. There will be more information to come and more videos to come as we roll out more in this application ready lineup. Thank you for your time.